Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Frank Oswago. Tonight on the show, I have two amazing ladies with me, Jacinta Powell. Jacinta, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
She's good. I'm good. What's popping? How is
Uh,
Wednesday?
uh, I don't know. It's just been cold, Yeah,
I
just
won't say
been
any.
cold.
I won't say anything about this cold because I was complaining about the cold 2 weeks ago, and Precious was laughing at me.
Yeah.
So now it's Jacinta's turn. Precious, remember when I was complaining about the cold?
Yes,
It don't reach Jacinta's side. Precious, how are you?
I'm fine. Hi, Jess. Nice to see you on this
Same
space.
here. Same here, Precious.
You
Always a
guys haven't been
pleasure to see
together.
you. Always.
No, we have, but
Okay.
we have.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been
Okay.
a while.
Okay. And today we have a very interesting topic. We're going to have a very interesting
Yeah.
conversation. We're asking, can strong relationship exist without defined rules? Jess?
Hmm.
Okay,
I'm
so,
laughing because
okay.
okay, I'm laughing because we have a problem with roles in this era, in this
Yeah.
generation. We're having a big problem when it comes to people deciding to take on responsibility or take on any sort of role because due to misunderstanding of roles, especially, gender roles, is it a man's role? Is it a woman's role? People have now, somewhat, somehow in relationships, kind of, want to shy away from roles. So this is why I'm actually laughing at this topic. Like, okay,
Okay, so but
yeah.
also, based on what you said, as much as people are not sure or they don't understand what the rules are or they are stuck in a particular era where a particular role is assigned to a man or a woman, I think people are also beginning to evolve. And they just need us to say, oh, it's okay to do this and it's okay to do that. Because I think there was a time we were on the show and we discussed stay-at-home dads, and it was an issue.
Mhm.
Now we have stay-at-home dads instead of stay-at-home moms. You know, now we have male chefs. So if you're a chef, if you work as a chef, my darling, you will cook in the house. It will no longer be my job. Do you understand? So basically,
Mhm.
these things are beginning to shift. Women are now mechanics,
Yeah.
So if you are a mechanic, like, then you should take care of the things that has to do with the cars and sorting out the cars at home. What do you think,
Yeah.
Precious?
So okay.
Yes. So for me, I would say um, a strong relationship can exist without defined rules because traditionally we have certain rules. But if we want to look at the so-called modern way of doing things right now, certain roles have switched.
Yeah, true.
So traditional roles before were the man brings home the money or the food or the bacon, so he takes care of the brings money home, and then the woman is supposed to use that money to cook and provide. So the man nurture rather. So the man provides, the woman nurtures. The woman is the household manager, like, oh, this is where the pots will be, this is where the buckets will be. Why the man is the household mechanic. Oh, come and change bulb. Come and this pressing iron is not working. Now, these are traditionally defined roles. So you see women telling you, oh, I don't know which mechanic we use because my husband is the one that takes my car to the mechanic. I don't even know when the car is bad. But we've seen over time, these roles have been challenged because
Yeah.
some sort of either entitlement or abuse has gone into it. Or some people just evolve. So I would say, as long as the roles are not defined, you can still have a strong relationship. It just depends on the individuals in that relationship. There are women
Okay.
now who go out to make money while the husbands or the men in their lives stay at home to take care of the kids that they have. They've
Okay.
switched roles. So
Yes.
it's not defined, but a role is being played by
Okay.
somebody at every point in time.
Okay. Okay, so but Jess, but Jess, as a therapist or as a counselor, when you're speaking to during premarital counseling, do you advise they have defined roles?
Yes, I do. I'm
Okay,
an
why?
advocate for defined roles because I feel
Okay.
that when roles are defined, it allows for stronger relationship. Why am I of this ideology? Is because you see, expectation is something that you don't want to run wild when you are in a relationship because we tend to want to expect the other person to do the job or take on a role. And before you know it, somebody shoulders the burden, most of the burden in the relationship. And now, because like Precious had just mentioned, in the society, we have certain ideologies that you should do this, I should do this. And it has caused a lot of abuse. It has caused a lot of neglect. The miscommunication has caused even the end of marriages today. And so this is why I always advise that according to your job, according to where you guys, like she mentioned now, women are now going to work, obviously. Roles are now being switched. You don't expect the woman to go bring in the bacon and then you expect her to come back home and clean the house. You know what I mean? So I would
Yeah.
say that roles should be assigned according to where you guys are in your different, areas of your life and your strengths, of course, and your weaknesses. You need to put all of those things into consideration when you are assigning roles. That's what I would say. Okay, but and also sticking on saying that roles have to be defined because if it's not defined, it will allow for an environment where people don't pick up from where they left off or expecting the other person to do to keep doing what they're not supposed to be doing. And let us just forget about the chores now. It's not just about even the chores or what is being done around the house. It could be roles of who is going to take care of the okay, who is going to be more who is better at business. Yeah, we can even have those kind of conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
Who yes, who is better at staying on the job? Who has a vision, to take us, to move us from, this financial stance to a better place, So it's not just chores alone, who's better in maybe communicating with our family, maybe who wages, like maybe you could have the one who is a warrior, who fights, who could stand up for the other. And then the lady might say, you know what, don't worry, I will take on this role when it has to do with anything that has to do with the family and any family disputes. I'll be the one. Don't worry, just stay behind me. Do you get what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like I said earlier on, it depends on your strengths, it depends on your weaknesses, and if you can sit down and then acknowledge these things, then you can assign roles properly and better.
Okay. Okay, so Precious, do you share the same idea? Because personally, I think these things should not be defined. It should be flexible because the honest truth is sometimes people get overwhelmed with just doing the same thing. The person who is
Yeah.
always providing gets tired. The person who is always taking care of the children will just get tired. So I would suggest with what is going on right now, you know, all the whole being burnt out, stress out there, going out to look for money, having that burden that, oh, it's my responsibility, I need to do that. You know, I would suggest that, you know, it being a bit flexible would work better because that way you're able to come and say, oh, baby, it's a bit tight for me right now. Can we, you understand? You're able to have that conversation and then your partner is not saying, oh, no, it is not, I'm not supposed to be doing it, you do that. So, Precious, what do you think?
Yes. I agree with both you and um, Jess, but I would just maybe because Jess used the traditional words that we're used to. Maybe that's why some people might think she's too rigid in saying that the rules should be defined. Now, I would add that if we don't want to talk about defined roles, we can say the roles should not be rigid. They shouldn't be set in stone.
Yeah.
It can be rotated, it can be adapted.
Yes.
So depending on, like she said, depending on your strengths and your weaknesses, or even where you are in your season of life, there's a time when you're best at doing a particular thing. So at that time, you should be able to handle that role better. At other times when you might not be so good at handling that role, your partner should be able to pick up the slack and say, okay, I think it's time for us to switch, or it's time for us to adapt, or it's time for us to rotate. So I think it's just once you, I think what Jess was trying to say is once you understand what needs to be done, then there should be some form of accountability on either partner A or partner B to make sure that that thing gets done, because you're talking about building a better relationship, a stronger relationship, a future. So it can be something like a financial goal. For instance, at a particular time in life, let me say, for a nursing mother or for a woman who has toddlers, sometimes women in those kind of situations find it difficult to save money. Sometimes. The reason is if that woman is somebody who likes to buy things, she's going to see everything in the world that she wants to buy for her kids. Because she just wants to make sure that they have the best, they are protected at all times, clothed, every toy in town. Now, if she has a husband who at that time would help with savings, he'd be able to sit her down and say, look, we've done the basic for these kids. I know you also want us to do a little bit extra. We can. But do you know that if we save a part of this money, we can further channel it into doing A, B, C. So at that time, the woman can now decide that, okay, yes, I think what you're saying is the truth. So this is what I, as the woman, would now do. If I have excess money, I'll just let you know. So if we're going to put it in a pause, or there's something that you can now pick it up and say, this is what we want to do. That's just like a regular example. It's not set in stone, that kind of a thing. But it can be adapted, it can be switched.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't have to be rigid.
Okay, so we're saying a combination of both would work better.
Yes.
Some roles have to be defined, and then some you can be flexible around some, It's whatever works.
Yes.
Okay, so, but one of the reasons why I wanted us to actually discuss this is so that people don't feel redundant after a while. Because I have noticed over time that most marriages or most relationships, because people are just particular about certain roles, their roles, they end up not even trying to be a better version of themselves. Do you understand? Some people are just relaxed and don't see any reason why they should want more. For example, a stay-at-home mom who says, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I don't need to worry about so and so. Do you understand? And then she does that for like 20 years, and then reality sets in. Do you understand? Because the other partner is tired of doing the same thing after 20 years. And then you see, and after 20 years, she's wondering where she's starting from. So I'm thinking that if these roles are switched, do you understand? And you have a bit of responsibility, or you put a bit of responsibility on yourself, it would make you even want to try harder. Or what do you think? Precious, Jess?
That makes sense too. And like you said, it also helps, especially for a stay-at-home mom, not to be redundant. So I know of a family where when the father and mother first met, they were both young, both ambitious. Now, the two of them decided to further their education, but they didn't have enough money to go to school together. So they both agreed that the woman would stay back, continue trading, doing business, while the man would go to school.
Okay.
Now, the man went to school, came back, finished, got a job, and they got married. And the woman didn't. Now, because it happened a long while ago and they are no longer together, I couldn't start asking, is it the woman that decided not to go or the man refused to pay fees, that kind of a thing. But the woman ended up not going to school, and she sort of felt, now this is after like 30 years after, she sort of felt like she was cheated out of something. But even before she started, before these 30 years after, like probably 10 years into the marriage, something happened and they went their separate ways. And the man moved on to marry someone else, and she moved on to marry someone else. And she never went back to school. She sort of lost the desire, the zeal, you know, she lost her will to go back to school. And when the discussion came up, it was more or less like, oh, if not for your father, I would have gone back to, I would have, you know, finished school because I had the money to pay my fees, but I had to step back for him to do it. So in cases like this, in order for you not to feel redundant, you can actually, in the meantime, do what you're doing. But once an opportunity comes your way, you go back to doing that thing that you had wanted to do before, especially when it has to do with education, career development, personal development. I mean, we're in the era of the computers. So the World Wide Web is there for everybody. You can be a stay-at-home mom and still, you know, run a profitable business from the comfort of your home.
True.
You don't even need a laptop. All you just need is an Android phone, which almost everybody now has.
True.
I know that there are a couple of people who don't have an Android phone, but almost everybody now has one. So a couple of people who don't have an Android phone, but almost everybody now has one. So being redundant or putting the blame of why you are not because a better you means a better relationship. So why are you not working on yourself? You just put the responsibility on
one
your
person.
partner and say, hey, that's your excuse. I did not do this because she did not allow me, or we agreed.
Oh,
Or
I
I
was
did not do
looking
this
after the
because this is
children.
what he said. Even so, I tell people, even looking after the kids, it has a time frame. So understand that, oh, I'm going to put in so and so number of years, and after that, I'm going to go back to school. Look at the way I met you people. We didn't meet in a traditional classroom. We met online in a class online. So there is really no excuse why whether the roles are defined or not should even be a problem.
Okay.
If there is a challenge in a relationship, there's a void, there's something that needs to be done, there are two adults in that relationship. They should be able to say, look, this is what we need to do, and this is how we're going to go about doing it. So just talked about lack of communication. Communication really, really matters. Every time we have this type of topics, we keep going back to the table of communication.
True.
It really matters because once we communicate, we can come to an agreement. And if for whatever reason something changes, we can go back to that communication again and say, look, can we adapt? Can we take a left, or can we take a right, or can we, you know, whatever it is that we need to do.
Okay. Okay, so Jess, we define rules. So what happens if 5-10 years down the line, you realize that, you know what I agree to, I do not want to be that person anymore, or I don't have that to give anymore. I want something different. And the person, your partner, is saying no. The reason why I got into this was because we had agreed that this is what it is and this is what I'm comfortable with.
Then the both of you should go your separate ways.
Precious, you know they had her. It's not working, Abi.
Jess don't like stress at all.
It's not working, Abi.
My
It's not
goodness.
working.
Okay, let me all right. Apologies. This is what we say in the bedroom, not out in the public.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, so yes, it's not working. I want to change roles now. Then I was weak, or then I did not know what I wanted now, or now I want this. Yes,
Yeah.
like I always say, you have every right to, at some point in your life, decide something, change your mind, because we're ever evolving creatures. What we want today is not what we want tomorrow.
Okay.
We're ever changing so that is allowed. But then your partner can say, no, I'm comfortable where I am and I don't want to switch roles.
True.
So two things and I always happen. You communicate, talk about it. But if he insists that no way, it's either you say, okay, I don't think I can work. I don't think this relationship can work anymore. All right. Or you seek help because someone is saying no. What are you going to do? Because there's already, he's not agreeing with you. He's saying stay with the road that you have chosen, stay with the road that we have decided upon, you know, and that is why, like we had earlier said, I think we all maybe at some point agreed to the fact that even if there are defined roles, we should understand that it could change. We could, one way or the other take each other's role, or we could do the same things. Two people can do the same role, can take the same role in a relationship. Yeah, just like the way the mother and the father both are working and bringing in the money. Yeah, just like sometimes when she cannot cook, the husband goes into the kitchen and he cooks. Yeah, sometimes when she can carry the baby, obviously maybe she's sleeping, the man carries the baby while while she sleeps, and obviously they exchange. They do these things hand in hand. So I'd say that should not be a reason for conflict if truly you are about your partner's growth. Because aside from the both of you, don't forget that you guys are individual people and you have personal growth. And your growth can start anywhere, anytime. What you think was a weakness for you, it could now be a strength. Or you could just want to explore it, to see, okay, how far can I even go? So I feel that we should be there to actually influence each other positively, to encourage one another when we find ourselves in those places where we think that we want to evolve. This is why this is why you should have a partner that is there for you. Like you guys have each other's back. You guys are friends before anything. And like I say, if you both of you have great communication, or all of this wouldn't be a problem. Trust me, because at some point the other person would know that this can happen. And just so that I can add, what Precious said earlier on, you know, um, so a woman over time, this with the story she said about the woman who had allowed the husband, who had allowed the husband go to school while she stayed back, and then she now has some sort of resentment towards the man saying, "Your father didn't let me go to school." Just like today, I'm talking to someone about vision, and I asked the person, "What is your vision in life? Do you have a vision at all?" Because most of us go around without a vision. We have missions, yeah, which is the little things that we do, but we don't have a vision. Because when we have a vision in life, yeah, no matter what happens, yeah, we always still turn around and go towards our vision. Everything we do, everything we say, all our actions, yeah, would always still, it's still towards the vision. And there's no how you can really just settle into something that has no path towards your vision. You just cannot. At some point, you'd say, okay, it's time for me to go to school. So those who have visions are the ones who, no matter what, even if it's after 3 years, 4 years, it's okay. You know what? I gave you guys my time. I gave you my 5 years. All right. I want to now continue where I have stopped. But you see, a lot of people without visions. And when I say mission and vision, let me try to clarify what I'm saying. Okay. Now, your vision could be that in my community, right? Okay, these people are not well fed. Maybe we don't have the good schools. All right, the gutters are overflowing. There's no good hospitals around here. And there's insecurity, or maybe there's lack of security around the neighborhood. And then you say to yourself, my vision in life is I want to make my community a better place. That's your vision. Now your mission could then be I want to venture into politics so that I can have, it could even be local government chairman. It could even be it could be in school, it could be student affairs, anything just for authority, just so that you can be able to, stand for the common man. Then the mission becomes, maybe today you're LG, local chairman, maybe the next time you are maybe a representative, or, but it keeps changing, but towards a vision. Sometimes the other mission can take you 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, Sometimes even if you fail, But then you're still moving, no matter how gradual, because you have a vision. And if you take it back to relationship, it's the same thing too. What is your vision in this? What do I have? What do I have? What do I want to do in my life? What is the end goal? So even the kind of husband you marry has to align with your vision, because it will be among the mission towards your vision. Marriage will not become just your end goal. It will not be a part of that vision. And when a woman or a man has a vision, marriage now becomes one of the mission towards the vision. And such a woman and such a man will be very, very hard to tame or to relegate. Do you get what I mean? Or put aside. Just thought to throw that in.
Okay. Okay, so I hear you loud and clear, and I have a lot to say regarding this, because I think a lot of marriages or relationships are built on the wrong, misinformed foundation. I think that's what the major problem is. And if we begin to educate people on how to take these decisions, yeah, there's no manual, but if we begin to educate, enlighten people on how to go about it, what you should look out for, the things that should matter, you understand, when taking these decisions, I think we would have better relationships. But let's quickly go on a break, and then when we come back, we would have you guys tell us how to go about this.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I know see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines. Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Please know that you can share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 08190384663 or call in to join in a conversation on 070-2500-7749 or 070-1424-2420. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, so before we went on the break, Jacinta gave us very good insight of, what it should be. And then I was of the opinion that we should actually throw more lights during premarital or before every relationship so people understand what they should actually identify or look out for when getting into these relationships. Precious, so as therapists and counselors, I'm of the opinion that people are misinformed or get into these relationships, with so many wrong ideas. And for some reason, they are not even willing to do better. Because really, let's forget this whole, let's leave this whole thing that, oh, you're supposed to do this is what it's supposed to be. If you're in a situation where it's not working, aren't you supposed to be trying to do something better? Like, looking for ways to sort it out. It doesn't have to be in a particular way. For example, regarding roles, defined roles. Okay, it's not working, it's not working. Must it be that way? Do you understand? You do not need anybody to tell you it's not working, it's not working. You expect somebody to bring money and the guy is not able to do that. Why don't you on your own, instead of sitting down and creating problems, say, oh, you know what? This guy, he's trying, but it's not working. How about if I try? And then the guy is saying, oh, she's cooking, but it's really difficult for her. The kids, she's trying to manage the children, she's trying to do school run, and then, at the end of the day, she's not at her best. Why don't we as individuals come up to say, you know what, this thing is not working, identify it's not working, and, give out a helping hand? What do you think, Precious?
The issue is most of us grew up playing the blame game. So once something is not working, you will look for the next person to blame.
True.
So something is happening in the house, the man blames the woman or the woman blames the man. Is it because it's not because you're not always in the house, or when I told you to do this, just like you said, the man is trying his best to, probably provide a financial need for something, and he's not able to meet up. And you, the woman, you have an idea that can help take care of that financial need. You don't want to. You will not say, no, it's his role. If or leave me, I for my father's house, so I did my own. He came and said he wants to marry me. He needs to man up. Why create problems when you can actually just be solutions to yourself first? Because we're talking about your happiness, your peace of mind, your sense of security. So a relationship is not just about I love you, I love you. It also needs to provide you security. Yes, food, clothing, shelter, and all of that, but emotional stability and even the physical security. So why don't you just go ahead to assist until such a time when the man would also come back on his feet? Now, on the other hand, how do you even go about offering this assistance or offering this help at this time? Do you do it in such a way that you're making the man feel he's a failure and that's why you're stepping up? Or do you do it, with the mindset that I'm just trying to help out. I know you're doing your best, but can I just help take this burden off you just a little so you can be better, stronger to do what you need to do? And then on the part of the man, are you going to accept this help without thinking that she has an ulterior motive or she's going to use it against you tomorrow in future? So there are things that we really need to understand as it has to do with relationships. We have a lot of work. As couples have to put in a lot of work because you need to understand when help is needed, how to ask for help, how to receive it, and how to enjoy it even when it comes. So something as little as planning. There are some men, jokes apart, it goes both ways, but let me just say there are some men who don't know how to plan. So something as, even when it has to do with their job, so they have an important meeting, they will not remember to set their alarm. They will not remember to bring out the clothes that they want to wear. for, the meeting, maybe a board meeting or a pitch. They are going for a pitch or something. You're the woman who is good at organizing. It really doesn't mean that the man is so bad. Help him do the organizing. You don't even need to set the alarm on his phone. Now, sometimes why I like giving practical examples is people think these things are just vague or they are so huge. No, all of these little acts is what forms that character or that situation that you now look at and say, look, I'm done. Before you say, I'm done, what have the two of you done to improve that challenge that you're both going through? So set the alarm on your phone. Let him know, look, I've set the alarm on my phone. I'm going to wake you up early. How do you want to present yourself? What kind of a suit do you want to wear? Is it blue? Is it black? Those kind of things. And then that point, you're able to assist. For the men, if you know that this is the way,
Can I come in, please?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
please, yes.
Okay, I heard you loud and clear. Amazing points there. But I would also say that why should you date a struggling man? Why should you even want to marry a struggling man? Why do you want to marry a man who cannot organize himself, put himself together? So that's also another angle. What I'm saying, and I'll keep saying it, obviously I acknowledge your point. Yes, if you're that woman, of course, why not? But if I have a vision towards where I'm going to in my lifetime, I should know if a struggling man fits into my vision for my life or not. This is why we always advise for premarital counseling. Because when I don't know where I'm going to, I pick up anybody along the way and put them in my bus. And then after a while, I start crying or acting as though I don't know what I have done to myself. We need to understand what it is that we as human beings, first of all, personally, individually, where am I going to in my life? Because it will help you to date the kind of men that you're going to date. Or as a man, it will help you date the kind of women you're going to date. Because let me tell you, if I cannot tolerate you, somebody else can tolerate you, that's fine. But it's about you. It's not what the society is saying or what the society frowns at or what the society accepts. It's what you accept and what you frown at. So if I know that, listen, I need a man who is upright. I need a man who has gotten to this, level of, or is ambitious. I want a man who can put his clothes together, who can organize himself. Because you see where I'm going to, this is the kind of man that fits the position. That is why I keep saying, and I'll keep advising, that we need to understand where we are going. Not a vague vision, a very clear vision. So clear that you can identify the parties involved in that your vision. And this is why I think the problem is, Franca, why we cannot or why we still have issues when it comes to assign roles, what I should be doing, what he should be doing, because you don't even know where you're going to. You don't even know what fits you. You don't even know the shoe that you want to wear. Because once you can identify the kind of person because, okay, Franca, if you're going to London, do you go on a bus? Do you go in a bus to London?
So I know I need to take I know I need to take a flight, right?
That's what I'm saying, because you know you're going to London, right? But a lot of people don't know where they are going to, and that's the problem.
But
You
just
want to go to London.
I saw a guy who said he was riding bicycle and he was going to America.
I know you. I know you come up with something. It's not you. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but no,
guess what?
but just
But
to
guess what? A lot
no,
of people
just
die
to,
on the journey.
But guess what, Jacinta? But seriously, just to emphasize more what you just spoke about, that guy actually
how
left
stressful.
Nigeria to say that he was going to America and he was cycling.
Did he get there?
So he got
Did he
to
get there?
he got to I think he got to Cotonou, and then said and came out
Just
after
here.
10 days and said due to all the
That's a
difficulties.
failed marriage right there. I love that you
I'm
said that.
telling you.
I love that you said that. That's a failed marriage right there. He
He
came back
came out
after
and said
10
due to the
days.
difficulties, due to all the challenges,
This is
the
when
They
they're
rain,
didn't sit
cold.
down to plan.
These
the
are the
rain,
things that they
the
say,
flat
these
tires.
are the excuses,
Yeah.
that you hear in the
At this
courts.
point, he has to stop.
We're not compatible. He's cheating. Yes, these are the same things. So let us get it. Let us be very clear. Let us know where we are going to, first of all. Let us have a vision that is not vague, but as clear as it can be. Then we'll know who to put in our lives. That's the problem
But
here.
Jess, this thing is not, like we said, it's not always, the way we plan it out, because you'll be shocked.
Of
You see
course.
someone who you thought was of no value, and do you understand? And the guy just
Franca,
picks
let
up.
me tell you something. A man who does not have money does not mean he doesn't have value.
No, when I mean, it seems like he doesn't have it together, not really value, but seems like he doesn't have it together. He just needed someone to push him. He just needed a right
Yes.
person to,
Okay. Franca,
it
I
happens
think,
that way too as well.
yes, it does, and I agree with you. But you can see some bombs, Because let me tell you, watch people how they treat other people around them, not how they treat you. Then you know who they are. Just take your time to watch them, how they treat every other person around you except from you. Because you're the prize at the moment. Other people are not. Then you can identify that kind of man or woman you want to marry. And you can see it's a clear vision, it's so clear. But because we want to be married, so we are clouded with so many. We don't, let's be honest, we don't, because of the need or the desperation, because of age, my father, my mother, society is calling, biological clock is ticking, I need to have children. So we tend to just peak along the way. Yeah, there are many reasons why. And some people, even if they pick such people, they know that this will only last for 2 years or 3 years. They already know what you're there for. People who still have vision. Okay, my biological clock is ticking, and it seems like where I'm going to still far off. All right, let me just pick this bomb. I just have 2 kids. Excuse my language, guys. Please, I'm so sorry. Let me pick this person, and they have maybe even the men do it too. Have 2 or 3 and get it out of the way and keep going. Do you understand? So whenever anything happens, you see, they just move on so easily and so quickly, without resentment, without any sort of. And people will wonder, you just left, you didn't ask for anything, you don't want anything, because they never ever saw themselves with that person for the rest of their lives.
They were there for a reason, and that has been
Thank you,
achieved.
that has been achieved. So those are the missions that will still fail towards your vision, but you come out, more courageous and more confident because you see how where you're going to. But unfortunately, a lot of people see marriage as the vision, as the end goal. Because don't blame us, most of us were taught that way. Women, especially, were thought that was our last bus stop. But now that we're understanding how this thing works now, we're saying it is not your last bus stop. It is one of the missions that you might even fail in, but you must have a vision so that it is clear. So even if it doesn't work or it works, however it is, you know when to abort mission or you know when to continue to, put together.
Jacinta, which mission are you aborting? Which mission? The way she speaks about this marriage, it be like saying that government work. But honestly, I hear you
but
loud
but
and
it was
clear.
a partnership. It's
Yeah,
something you
so
sign.
yeah,
So,
I hear you, and I feel that what we need to do is, speak more on the fundamentals of relationships, because, I think we have just lost it. We need to change that old narrative of, it's your last bus up, you need to be here, it has to be this way, it has to be that way. If people go into marriages well informed, like you go to school and know you need to pass, like you go for, you get a job and know you need to actually do well at your job. I think these things will work better. Do you understand? And honestly, if those things are done properly, then there are no rules. You don't have to the rules they don't have to be defined. Certain things don't have to be
I still think no, I still think you need to define
No,
roles
you know why I
regardless.
say that?
But
No.
it can be flexible. It can
No,
be
you know why I
flexible.
say
You
you
don't
don't
mind.
have to.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be, listed. Just having a you know how people go into it as if that government works with all seriousness and
No,
the
no,
rest
no,
of it.
no, no, that's the thing. You're looking at it like that way. That's not how I'm saying it
No,
at
not to you
all.
particularly. I'm trying to tell people there are people who do it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Do you understand? Not because you said it, but there are people who just say, this is what this person's role is, and if it's not this, see.
You know what? It's coming from a point of control. Most of
Okay.
people, when they put out defined roles, they use it to control the other partner. That's why it's disturbing, and that's why it's becoming something that it seems as though nobody wants to partake of anymore.
So we
The
need
other
to
partner
address.
is
So all these things needs to be addressed and done properly. even in your communication, it has to be done properly. Even in setting those rules, you understand, or roles, it has to be done properly with respect, you know. And then these things can be changed. It is not cast in stone. It is not something that has to be like that for 5 years. In fact, I was reading somewhere where somebody said marriage should be made to be renewed. You know, the reunion should be renewed every 5 years. So that after 5 years, if it's not working, do you understand? You go back and say and decide if you want to continue. If you do not want to continue, you back off or you back out. Do you understand? So really, back to what we're discussing, do we have are we can we have strong bonds without defined rules? Yes, we can, if we have matured people in the relationship.
Exactly.
If we have people who understand what the union is about, who have defined vision and goals, and did the right thing, and their marriage is built on a solid foundation, the right foundation, yes, it can be. Because all you just need to do is have a conversation. That's all. But again, Precious, what do you think?
Thing.
Yes.
Yes. No. Yeah. I'm happy that we are all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We're just saying it in different ways to accommodate every, of our listener. So yes, communication is good because it will help you. Now, when we say defined roles, we're not saying yes, it must be totally defined. Are there going to be roles in the relationship? Yes. Should these roles be roles that should be handled? Yes. What we're saying is, don't say, no, it's not my role to do because I'm the woman, it's the man's own. Or no, the man will say, no, this one is your own, it's not mine. The roles should be adaptable. There should be balance, at least at some point in time, there should be balance. So it's not overwhelming. Now, when we say, because I think Franca made that point, so one person does not feel like, look, this thing is too tiring for me, I think I need a break. No. When you know that this is what is needed, you step up and do it. If for whatever reason you feel overwhelmed or you feel underappreciated, you go back to the drawing board. Communication, you don't pay money to communicate. Call your partner, sit down and say, this and this and this is what we had, agreed to do. But I'm feeling sort of overwhelmed, or I'm feeling sort of underappreciated. Please, is there a way we can do this better so I don't feel this way? And then it's not just about one partner complaining, it's about the other partner also listening. So it's not just you have said it and then the partner stands up and goes and nothing is done about what you've said. So communication is important, balance is important, and of course, in all of this, you also need to love and respect each other, because if you don't respect, then you won't even listen when the other person is trying to make a point about certain rules. We've also agreed that there are traditional rules, there are modern rules, but please, just understand that your relationship will starve if certain roles are not carried out. And once your relationship starves, it's going to lead to a breakdown of what you are building. And no one would willingly, with all his faculties and her faculties intact, destroy what they were building.
So I'm happy that, we're able to break this down, because a lot of people actually, take out time to listen to these things and the things we say. And sometimes, this is what guides them into taking or making certain decisions. So, and I love that we're therapists and counselors here, so that people know that, talking to a therapist or counselor is not because they always think that what they think is wrong. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That you have to speak to someone doesn't mean you don't know what to do. It's just so that you're relaxed, you understand, play it through in your head and find ways to achieve that same thing you want to achieve. You understand? Yeah. So really, when we say these things, it just goes to tell people that, you know what, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not just doing things the right way. The things you're thinking are okay, and you understand there's nothing wrong with you, but there are better approaches to this thing. If you're thinking in this particular way, how about thinking differently? You understand, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, or, doing things properly so that You don't even shoot yourself on the foot. Because sometimes we take a lot of decisions with emotions and then we do the wrong thing. Because really, if you're in a relationship and you cannot compromise, because this is where compromise comes in. Yes, we have set defined rules. We have said this is what your role is, this is what, but sometimes you should be able to compromise, tolerate. You understand? So that you would even get better value in your relationship. Yes, that's what it is. It's not, and then I think we also need to identify what is disrespect. Not everything is disrespect. That someone is telling you how they feel, sometimes it's not disrespect. You see it as disrespect, but the person is not disrespecting you. The person is actually telling you what they can take, the capacity of what they can take and tolerate. So we actually need to educate people on certain things so that they know better. Because the truth is, a lot of people think they know, but my darling, they don't know anything. They are just misinformed with a lot of things on the streets, you understand? And with what's going out there, what is out there now, a lot of things out there are completely wrong. But, I think we don't have so much time. But Jess, your last thoughts on this? Hello, Jacinta.
Oh, yes. I'd just like to add that reciprocity and... Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. I'd just like to add that reciprocity and clear communication is very important in a relationship, for it to be strong and, solid over time. But, you also have to look at the controlling aspects of it. Because when control comes into a relationship, it sneaks in different ways. Partners should be careful how they try to control each other's lives. This is where the problems always stems from. And I think that's all I would like to add.
Okay. Precious?
Yeah, so I would just say that couples should agree on on how responsibilities are handled. And they should always go back to the drawing board when they need to adapt, when they need to evolve, or when they need to change who does what in a relationship.
Okay. Okay, so please, from me, you don't have to bear your burdens alone. Please just send us an email for free counseling. And then we have amazing ladies out there. We'll have someone reach out to you. So just send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com. And trust me, you're just an inch. What they say, you're just a step away from your problems. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you.